where does being a zombie on The Walking Dead rank? Because I can't think. That's almost cooler than being an Anthrax, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's one of those moments that if I didn't have a record, usually you say, well, I've got the pictures to prove it, but I've got it DVR'd and I've got a copy on a DVD. If I didn't have the evidence, I would almost think I was making it up. It's so surreal that I did that. Even when I wrote the story in the book, and I spent a couple of days working on that story, and even still, I caught myself shaking my head a couple of times. I can't believe this actually happened. I mean, I'm friends with Greg Nicotero, and he's one of the executive producers and one of the main directors of the show. And his company K&B also does all the effects work on the show. And we've been friends for a long, long time. And it was all his doing. He knows what a fan I am of horror and what a fan I am of the show. And I had a web series on Nerdist.com called Bloodworks, and where we would hang out and visit with effects guys. And usually I would get made up and, in some really cool makeup, or I'd get killed somehow, we were able to take my little web series and go down to Atlanta, and I got to be a walker and get killed on The Walking Dead as a part of that whole thing. And it's just still so, and I'm in a scene with Rick and Carl. It's not even like I'm just some background guy, getting offed by a lesser character. I'm there with Rick and Carl. It's pretty amazing, the whole thing still, that I'm standing there in zombie makeup with Greg and Andrew Lincoln and Chandler Riggs, the actors that play them. And we're choreographing the scene, and here's what's going to happen. And Rick's going to move here, and you're going to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And the whole time in my head, I'm like Homer Simpson. I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my, this camp. I'm looking around, look at those zombies over there, just completely freaking out that I got to be a part of that world for a few hours. You know what I mean? It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, that chapter alone, you said you worked on it for a couple days, and it shows, man, because I couldn't believe how much detail there was. I had no idea, how important hitting blind marks are when you're filming and stuff to line up for special effects. And there's a lot that goes into being just a zombie. And it was this is the coolest thing ever. And there was one other thing you said in there, and because there's so much in that chapter, I don't want to give it all away, but did you really ask Greg if you could bite Carl?
I did. I had asked him that as soon as I knew, as soon as he emailed me, obviously months before, saying, hey man, it's on. We got the okay from AMC and blah, blah, blah. It's all good. And so this is months out from when we actually shot. And that's when we were somewhere together. And I said, hey, I've been kicking this idea around in my head. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what if I bit Carl, and he just looks at me with this smirk, you're an idiot. And I'm like, no, seriously, just hear me out. Everyone's super annoyed with his character at this point. People would be super stoked. And then if they found out it was me, I mean, come on, that's Zombie Hall of Fame shit right there. And, he's just basically yeah, guess what? That's not going to happen.
Oh, that's so funny. And if you're up to date on The Walking Dead, you know how Carl is now bit, not by you, I don't think, Scott, but just right. Great writing in that chapter. I loved every minute of it.